It's always good to welcome new trainers here to the UAE and to Alain in particular. Danny Murphy is the latest new kid on the block. Welcome. How are you finding things?
I'm finding it great, Laura, and thanks very much for coming down to see us here in Alain. I've settled in grand. Lovely surroundings, great place to train, beautiful racetrack, and people have been very friendly to me.
And you've got quite the history, born into racing, trained for many, many years, kind of all over the place. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, Laura, I started off as an apprentice jockey to my father in Ireland. I was always a bit heavy. I rode for about 13, 14 years. Got murdered with weight problems, and I started training in 1989. And I spent 5 years there, and I was lucky enough to be training for some Hong Kong trainers and owners. And I went out then to the Hong Kong Derby, I think it would have been 1993, I think it was. And one of the owners had a runner the next day in Macau, and he asked me would I be interested in coming to train. So I took him up on the offer 2 years later, 1995, because you couldn't beat the big boys, all the top trainers, Aidan O'Brien and all the guys in Ireland. So I just said, here, I'm going to give it a go and be a big fish, hopefully in the small sea in Macau, which I really enjoyed myself. I spent 5 years there, and we were lucky because we always wanted the Irish-English horses to be racing in Macau. And my opposition was all Australia, New Zealand, and it was really before the Dane Hill ever went down to probably put speed into those mares in Australia. So we won all the big races and got very lucky, and every year we got the Macau Derby out of it. And now, because I'm back in Dubai, I'm meeting assistant trainer Claude Piccioni, and he rode the winner of the Macau Derby for me. John Hyde was one of my apprentices in Ireland. Noel Connolly, assistant trainer to Doug Watson. Noel worked for me in Ireland as well. So I'm the older, senior guy back really, but it's great to be here, and I'm looking forward to the season.
How did all this come about? Obviously, as you said, you've got strong links with the UAE, but how did you manage to get this position here?
To be quite honest, Adi Silverratnam was a trainer here who went to train in Malaysia, and I went to train in Malaysia myself 5 years ago. And when Adi went to leave, actually he passed me the owners Farouk Racing, and they're a family involved in racing for 30, 40 years. The father Faisal was the chairman of the Karachi Jockey Club. I think he still actually is, to be quite honest, in Pakistan. And his son Ali became very friendly with me. He's my racing manager here. And when the racing went down in Malaysia, the ringgit went down, everything went down. The prize money went down awful by 50%. So they said to me, would you be interested in coming to train here for us in Dubai? So I said, well, sure, why not? I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I've trained winners in 6 different countries of the world. I probably know everybody in racing, and I said, sure, we'll give it a go, why not?
You're not actually new to the UAE, so you have trained a winner here before.
I did. I got a taste of the place actually in 2005, 2006. Singapore horses, I was training in Singapore, and we got a couple of horses invited to race in Dubai in the carnival. And I owned a horse myself, and I brought him over and said, why not, we'll take a chance. And there was the Derrinstown handicap, and my sister was working in Derrinstown at the time, so it was great celebrations. We won the race, you know. It was fantastic, actually. So I just said, when I got the opportunity then to be invited back, and like Ali is my racing manager, and he sort of said, Danny, I'd love to try and win the guineas here, the 1,000 guineas or the 2,000 guineas. So we went off and we bought 5 2-year-olds in the Breeze Up sale in Newmarket. And hopefully that we're looking forward to them. They seem to be going very well here. They've acclimatised well, and they're fairly forward, and they've a very nice Scat Daddy filly. We have a nice Sea Pie horse and a nice Declaration of War 2-year-old as well. So we're looking forward to it, yes, definitely.
So you are a public trainer, as you've pointed out, and you'd be keen if an Arabian was to come your way to try your hand with one of those. Would that be the first time you've trained an Arabian?
It would be the first time I trained an Arabian, but the prize money is fantastic. And I'd look forward to it, actually, to training an Arabian horse, to be quite honest, you know.
And how have you adapted? Because obviously everywhere is different. Here would be very different to Singapore, to Malaysia, to Macau.
I have to say, well, I've trained always in cities, you see. And here I'd have to say Elaine is more quieter, but I'm getting older anyway, Laura. So I've settled in well here. And as you see, beautiful golf course here. We've got a rugby club. We've got everything here, you know.
What are the aims for this season? You mentioned you're hoping to be quite quick out of the blocks with your runners. Obviously, get a winner on the board early would be nice.
It would be very nice actually. So we start in Jebel Ali, and I see we have a maiden there and a couple of handicaps. So hopefully we have 4 or 5 runners there. We'll start, But the 2-year-olds, then I hope to have a runner in the 2-year-old maiden at the Maidan. There's a 1200 metre. So it's very exciting times for us anyway. We have a small string at 13 at the moment, but they're all forward. Yes, I've been here since the middle of July, so they'll be fit, and we'll get them out early and hopefully get a couple of winners.